Yes, it's true. Batman the Killing Joke, one of the most beloved comic books ever, got an animated adaptation featuring Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill. It was R-rated, it was released in theaters, it was a big old event, and I'm here to talk about it now. I'm excited. Batman the Killing Joke stars Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill, Tara Strong, and it's directed by Sam Liu, who's worked a lot actually. I looked him up because I wanted to see what he'd done, and he worked in the art department for like storyboard work on things like Extreme Ghostbusters, Godzilla the series, He-Man, the 2004 version, Teen Titans, Ben 10, The Batman, Superman Doomsday, Wonder Woman, Batman Brave and the Bold, Under the Red Hood, Justice League Crisis on Two Earths, Batman Year One, All-Star Superman, Assault on Arkham, and The Dark Knight Returns, and also some of the later ones like Justice League ones, Batman vs. Robin, Bad Blood, stuff like that. And he also directed Batman Year One, an animated movie I liked quite a bit, a good adaptation. So I was like, okay, we're getting The Killing Joke, my most beloved Batman comic. It's right up there with Dark Knight Returns, stuff like that, but one that I hold very dear, and a lot of people do. And I figure, yeah, we're definitely in the capable hands of a guy who delivered a good animated movie before. It's going to be R-rated. And in this movie, the Joker, he's really pushing everyone to the edge. Batman, Gordon, Barbara Gordon, everyone. Joker's out to prove a point. He wants to prove that all it takes is one bad day, and you turn into the Joker. Your life can fall apart with one bad day. So he's really going for it. He's targeting Gordon specifically, and Batman has to stop him, and he's got his own stuff going on. But I'm not going to get super spoiler in this. This is the spoiler-free review. I'm going to do a spoiler review. Also, I'm going to do a separate video just talking specifically about the comic and all its greatness. And I was very excited for this movie. DC, their animated universe, all these animated films, it's a lot more consistently good than bad. There's a few throwaway ones, but overall, pretty great. And they already took one of the best comics ever and turned it into a great movie, The Dark Knight Returns. They did that pretty fantastic. So I'm like, Killing Joke, it's going to be great. It's going to be R-rated. All this stuff was very exciting. And then I heard going in little whispers deep in dark crevices about how it's not a direct adaptation. They're adding a 30-minute prologue. So I was like, let's see what that's about, as long as just treat it good with respect. That's all I need, that's all I want. Do The Killing Joke right! And yes, this is indeed an adaptation of The Killing Joke, not direct adaptation. Yeah, they add a 30-minute prologue, and it's pretty much all centered around Batgirl, trying to make her seem more important to the story when The Killing Joke comes around. Because you could criticize her involvement in The Killing Joke comic was perfunctory at best, and just kind of there. Not much purpose, just kind of shock value for a scene. She didn't do much, really. And sadly, this did not elaborate on The Killing Joke. It didn't add to its greatness. It didn't add a little wrinkle to it or anything. They're not connected. One does not lead into the other in any real way, besides they both feature Batman and Batgirl. They're doing, it's the same animation, same voice acting, but it's not connected. It doesn't feel of the same piece. They feel separate in a total way. The writing, everything. And I will credit it for this. We got Tara Strong as Batgirl, Kevin Conroy as Batman, and Mark Hamill as Joker when The Killing Joke starts. A great voice cast. They're fantastic. They do great work. Some of the most definitive versions of those characters. Kevin Conroy is the best Batman. Hamill's the best Joker. Tara Strong, she's a great Harley Quinn. When she does it, she's a good Batgirl. I mean, she's really great in all of the things she does. Powerpuff Girl, she was fantastic. But the writing in this was atrocious. This is actually some of the worst writing I may have seen ever in any kind of Batman content. And there's other, like, I could point to a lot of things from the Tim Burton, Joel Schumacher movies, like, that is some of the worst Batman content ever. Yes, but this is right up there with it on the pile of just shit. It is horrible. The way they treat these characters and interact with each other and the decisions they make and who they are feels so wrong. It feels so just off a fucking cliff, wrong turn in decisions. It's just the total opposite of what they should have done. I kind of see what they're going for, trying to make Batgirl very integral to the plot. Doesn't work, falls flat. All it did was really piss me off and upset me in a way of how bad it is. And I was like, okay, when it was over, I was like, if this was any other thing that wasn't The Killing Joke, I might have shut it off. If it was going to be this for an hour, 10 minutes, done, I'm out, tap out, moving on. But no, then we get into The Killing Joke, and it's like I said, they don't lend to each other. One ends, the next begins, and when The Killing Joke begins, it's like a ray of light from heaven shining down on me, giving me the greatness that is The Killing Joke. And yeah, when you read the comic, when you read a lot of Batman comics, for me, pretty much every time, I just hear Kevin Conroy's voice and Mark Hamill's voice, so having them do the voices for it was just perfect. That's what you need. They should do it for everything. They just need to figure out the method of eternal life and just give it to them so they can always be Batman and Joker. So hearing them do it, the dialogue, the characters, everything about it, the story, it's great. It's all from the comic. It's pretty much adapting it directly onto the screen. So in a way, it's not that creative because you can just read the comic and it's the same thing and a little better looking. But at the same time, it's like hearing them do this dialogue, it might sound a little cheesy and just totally pretentious, but like the magic of the dialogue coming out of their mouths makes it even better. It's true though. When you hear Hamill say some of the lines in Conroy, it's just like fantastic, and I love it. The problem is, even though the Killing Joke's telling the story perfectly with the voices I want to hear, the animation is a weak point, and this director has worked on a lot of storyboard art for a lot of things, some things I really like. You know, I like the Batman Year One and some of the other things he's worked on, but the animation, this was weak, and that's a problem considering this is the Killing Joke. This is the big daddy of all. This is the big Batman story if you're going to do it. And Dark Knight Returns, just as a comparison, another huge one. I didn't feel like the animation was very weak in that, but this one felt on the lower end. Because for all these movies, they're all about the same budgets, and they just go for a specific style. They're never going to go too crazy. It's their style that they do. Bruce Timm type style for the animated series, stuff like that, the Batman animated series. But it's just like, for this, they should have went above and beyond. Just like if you look at one page, I'll pick a random page that's not spoiling anything. You look at one page in the comic and it's beautiful. This is the best looking comic I've ever seen in my life. I'll stand by it. It's so beautiful looking. And then this is just kind of run-of-the-mill average animation, actually at times below average, you know, sometimes, and this has happened in a lot of them. They got to infuse some CGI for certain movement things. If there's a car chase or something, it looks bad. The animation overall is fine, but this is the Killing Joke. It should be above fine. It should be the best they can possibly do. They should have upped the budget for this. This went to theaters. They should have upped the budget. I mean, I don't know how much these animated things cost. They should have spent more, because this is the big one. This is the Killing Joke. Give it your all. You got the voice cast, give them an animation to match their greatness. And that's the only disappointing thing about the Killing Joke itself, is that at times it's like, you look and it's just like, that should look better. And most of the time it looks fine. I can still sit here and watch it and be like, it's good. It's not taking me out of the movie, but upon reflection, it's just like, looking at it, it should look a little bit better. You know, they should have really went all out for it. But other than that, it's great. It's perfectly retelling the story, the great voice acting. My only other issue really would be, because the prologue is 30 minutes, the Killing Joke only gets to be about 40 minutes? About something like that. And so the prologue takes up a large chunk of screen time that really, the Killing Joke really deserves, because at times there's moments where it's like, if they really took their time with this and didn't rush through it, took a slow, deliberate pace to really draw the scene out, it would have been magnificent. Like the classic scene, this thing where the Joker loses his fucking mind and is laughing, that's a really good moment. But if they took their time with it, like cut out the Batgirl prologue, it never existed, and they did this and just took their time with more scenes, that would have been an amazing, chilling scene that just instant classic that you would go to watch it because it's so perfect. It's really good. It could have been amazing. And other things like that. But overall, it's very good. You know, it's just weak animation at times for sure. Overall, just kind of average animation for DC, which it still looks good, but it should have looked better. And the prologue, words cannot describe how bad it is. When I get into spoilers, oh boy, we'll get into that. But aside from the shitty, horrible prologue, horrible writing in that, it's like the Killing Joke is near perfect. Almost. If Warner Brothers and DC had put in a little more effort, made it look as good as the comic does, took their time, didn't insult us with a bad prologue, this could have been like the best animated film yet. It sadly is just a pretty good one and near great, but just it's got a shitty chunk to it. And the thing I can say is the Killing Joke, because it's as good as it is, you know, when the movie ends, I'm kind of just stunned, like they nailed that. They nailed the story of the Killing Joke, the ending, and it almost erases my memory of the prologue. Like, I'm not thinking of that. When the movie ends, I'm just like, they got it. They got it. It was awesome. And it's like a little mist in my brain that disappears of the prologue, but it's there. I have to judge it as a whole thing. If I was just judging Killing Joke, I would give it like a B+, something like that. The animation is the weak point of that, and it doesn't take enough time. But the prologue's attached, and the prologue itself, I would give like an F. It's that bad. But as a package deal, as a movie overall, It's flawed, but still got a lot of greatness in it, a lot. It's like a lot of DC movies lately. They're flawed, but they got some really good stuff in them. I've talked about my problems. I'll talk about them a lot more in depth. I can't wait to do that for the spoiler review. But I would give Batman the Killing Joke a B. It's a solid movie, and I just recommend, if you're gonna see this, start at the 30-minute mark when the Killing Joke comic starts, where it's the raindrops and he's going up to the asylum. Start there. You'll enjoy it so much more. You don't need to see the prologue because it's not good. From now on, when I watch this movie adaptation, I'm going to start there and move on, and it'll just be great, and I'll love it. And I'll be like, why does it have such a bad rating on Rotten Tomatoes? And go like, oh, right, the prologue. Yeah, that sucked. So comment below, tell me your thoughts on Batman the Killing Joke, and I'll see you guys soon when I do the spoiler review. Very excited to do that. That'll be up right after this. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.